here we go. I'm very excited. Conversations with episode number 3. One of my favorite rock stars from all the way over in Europe, Guernica Mancini of Thunder Mother. Welcome to my humble little podcast.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. Hi.
Pleasure. And we are working together. By the time this comes out, we will have announced that you're doing a solo album with us, or a couple of solo albums with us, with Golden Robot Records. How exciting is that?
I'm beyond excited. I mean, I wasn't expecting this to happen now in my career, but right now it just feels perfect and amazing to get the opportunity to do something that I've been wanting to do, forever, kind of. As much as I love being in a band, I mean, that's amazing too. It's also fun to get to be creative on your own.
Absolutely. And
it's very exciting.
Do you find that it's you split it? Is it like putting a different kind of hat on? It like the hat you wear for your solo stuff would be different to the hat you'd wear for Thunder Mother, for example?
Absolutely. It has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to make it clear that there's not any competition, nothing, like that. It's just 2 fun, different creative projects that I'm going to do my best in and, put my whole heart in both of them and have fun.
And if you broke it down, do you think that the reason you are a rock singer, and do you think that the reason you enjoy what you do is because you see the fun in it? Do you have fun when you're performing live or in the studio?
I mean, that's the main thing. I if it wasn't fun, I wouldn't be doing it at all, because it is really mentally and physically draining to tour as much as I've been doing with Thunder Mother and everything that comes with being a musician. It's not like it's like a easy breezy ride. Like, I don't know, I guess nothing is super easy. Becoming a doctor takes time to study, blah, blah, blah. But becoming a musician and really trying to have that as your full-time job, so to say, it's a pretty, it's a bumpy ride, but it's a lot of fun, and it's so worth it because it is my biggest passion, and music has always been my biggest love. And I know with the girls, that's always what we tell each other before we go on stage, like, just have fun now. It doesn't, if management comes in and they're like, oh, these important people in the audience, blah, blah, blah. Everyone is important to us, and we go in and just do the best we can for everyone. And having fun is like the top main priority.
and can you, when you're on stage, you hear about, plenty of lead singers and rock stars over the years, from Michael Hutchence to Jim Morrison to Joan Jett, Pat Benatar, these amazing female rock stars. Do you live for that hour and a half on stage? Is that where you feel the most comfortable?
Yes, absolutely.
What is it?
It's I don't know. I feel like I'm exactly where I am supposed to be when I'm on stage. I have a lot of fun with it. I get to do what I think I'm best at doing, which is singing. And I get to share that with people that really enjoy what I and my bandmates have created. And it's just a magical moment. I mean, there's nothing better than that. I mean, it's incredible.
You like the camaraderie of
love it.
The band with your band and whoever you're playing with.
Yeah, I love that. I think that, and that's the funny thing, like the fun thing now that I'm going to go and do a solo project. I mean, I'm still going to have musicians with me, and it's still going to be a team effort regardless. And that's what I like the most. Like, always, I have a lot of sisters, and I've always liked working in groups. I have fun because everyone brings something different to the table and makes the situation or whatever you're doing more creatively different and blah, blah, blah. So I think that's super important and definitely one of the more fun parts of the job.
When you say you've got a lot of sisters, you talking about sisters in the band or actual sisters, blood sisters?
Yeah, I have 3 sisters in the band, I guess you could say. But I have 3 blood sisters, yeah.
And how old are they? Older or younger than you?
2 of them are like 10 years older.
Wow.
And then I have the one sister that's 1 year younger than me. Her and me have always like been best friends because we like obviously came two different times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so three sisters. They none of them do music or anything like that, but they're very supportive and you know.
And do
Like,
they, what is it like for them to have I mean, look, it's no secret that I think you're an absolute rock star, and that's why I wanted to sign you to do a solo album. But do they see you as the rock star, as a musician? Do they see you living that lifestyle, or do they just see you as you could be a pharmacist or a doctor? They look at you the same, or do they look at you are a rock star? Do they get it?
I mean, it's tricky. I think that they, as any family member, they believe in you and they want the best for you.
Yeah.
But I think my older sisters definitely have, being that it's not a normal career, it takes time for them to maybe realize how well I'm doing, because I'm not on TV, like, rock and roll is not mainstream yet again, but so I'm not doing the obvious big things, but within the rock community, I've done a lot of incredible things. And I think my Cecilia, my younger sister, the one that I'm closest, she's aware of how well it's going. But I kind of lost my answer there. Sorry, but I think it's different.
No, you answered. So if you, let's say, whether it was Thunder Mother or your solo career, whatever, let's say you ended up playing, which is the aim, you ended up playing in front of 100,000 people at Wembley. Would you invite your family to be in the crowd?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, sure. That's
I would invite them. I mean, they all have a lot of kids and stuff. It would be amazing to be able to, I mean, that would be such a proof to them also that I've been, I chose the right path kind of way.
You made it.
Yeah, I made it, exactly. But that's the sucky part about, or what's unfair for us musicians, is that people don't understand that it takes years and years and a lot of effort and a lot of weird shows and weird, things that you have to do to get to the point where you are shown on TV or shown in big, rock and roll, Rolling Stone magazine or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to be huge to be at that point. And it's just sad that's often the how far ahead you have to go to for people to even like acknowledge that you're doing well. I think it sucks.
do you think that you have to play 100 gigs to 5 people in the room to get to that point of playing Wembley? Do you think you've got to go through that?
I think that today there's definitely easier ways to get to that point. I don't know. I've always done it the old school way and just gigged. And I think that me and the girls in Thunder Mother, we've all kind of hustled the old school way. Like, we've played so many shows, and that's also made it so that we are a great live band. So if you come to any of our shows, we're going to entertain you from, the beginning to end. Whereas a lot of these other people that maybe make it through a YouTube thing or blah, 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 they're not going to be very entertaining once you see them live, but they have, hits and they're making money and blah, blah, blah. So I think it depends. I'm hoping to find like a middle ground where you can, where you still do the gigs. Cause I don't know if you've seen the documentary with Dave Grohl's documentary about the van. It's super relatable. And it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I've done that. I mean, I'm kind of still in that zone, and we haven't really moved up. We're still at the meaning nightliner. And I think it's that really makes it very clear if it's your passion or not, if you're doing what you really love and blah, blah, blah.
So what is success for you? Is success that you sell 1 million albums? Is success that you're on the front cover of Rolling Stone? Or is success and knowing that you've made it is that you've written a fantastic song and a little girl or a little boy writes to you and says to you, wow, you've inspired me to be a singer? What's success to you?
There's several answers to that question, but I guess the main thing is, and my focus in life has always been to do something that makes me happy. and I don't want to live with regret. So that's like number one. That's why I pursued music, and I would never give it up, because I feel like it's very important to follow your heart and do something that really makes you happy as a human. And then I guess, and not to sound, whatever, but I think money comes once you start doing that.
Opportunities.
Opportunities. If you just like work really hard and never give up, then eventually you're gonna force people to know who you are. I mean, that's just that's just how it is.
Well,
I just wanted to end it but at the same time, I do have certain like bucket list moments that I want to be like, yes, being on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine would definitely be one of them. Playing headlining Rock in Rio is definitely one of them. Going on what's it called, arena tour, stadium tour, that's definitely things like that. I have my dreams are incredibly big. I never like really, I never stop dreaming, and I have big dreams.
I like that about, I was going to say that, running this record company and having so many bands that I deal with, and being in a position, I feel very honored and fortunate to be in a position where we can make things happen for talented artists. And I see a lot of things, and I will never forget. And again, I see a lot of stuff, but I'll never forget seeing you on that video in the studio of King Zebra, singing on their latest single. And what I loved about that, other than the fact your voice is just another level, is that you have this quality about you, this authentic, genuine quality where, yes, it looks like you're having fun, but you're really good at what you do, and it seems to come naturally. And the way you were sort of bopping up and down in that, that video that they did behind the scenes, I saw that, and there was nothing going to stop us. Nothing. Even if I had to fly over to Sweden with a group of lawyers, there was nothing going to stop us from signing you to a solo deal, because I just felt that we needed to have you in some form or another on the label. And because Thunder Mother's already signed, I thought this is the way that it's going to happen, is to get you having a solo career, which I'm very excited about. But I've always said, there is plenty of musicians and plenty of artists, but the world needs another rock star. And because I don't know where the rock stars are anymore. I just don't. I don't know.
Me neither.
That's it. I know that there's some great artists, but not only does the world need a new rock star, the world needs a new female rock star.
Hell yeah. It's about time.
Absolutely. And I think you tick all those boxes so beautifully, because, you're a nice person. You've got that swagger. You've got that look, and you can smash a note out, and you own that stage. I don't know anyone that's like that.
Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you.
That's my good list. Do you want my bad list?
No, no, not today. Just keep the compliments coming.
Keep the compliments coming. No, I'm joking. There's absolutely nothing negative. But so what's important to you is the reason that you can be successful, and go out there night after night with Thunder Mother and be concentrate on your art and concentrate on what you do. Is that because you've got a nice home life? You live in Sweden. It's a nice setup for you. You're happy in life. Do you think that that's important? That you've got the basics covered, so that gives you the ability to go out and do what you want to do?
I mean, absolutely it is. But having all those things that you just mentioned are things that are very new to me.
Right.
And also some things that I've realized during this pandemic, because I'm what do you call it? A workaholic or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good word.
I worked, I get consumed by the band has been my everything, and during this pandemic, since we've been forced to have a lot of time off and as everyone out there have, it also put everything in a different light and perspective, where it's like, it's really important with home life, and it's important to be around the people that really care for you and love you, and that the people that recharge your battery, basically. And before, I've been kind of running on just hopes and dreams. And I've been wanting this dream since as far as I can remember. So for me, once I decided that I was going to go ahead and pursue music, I haven't really thought about anything else. It's just been, I'm one track, like, just make sure this happens and work hard. So this pandemic has really just changed a little bit, where it's like, I want to keep working hard, but also, find work-life balance.
Yes.
And I do have a partner that I'm really happy about, and I love our home life. And I know that I'm gonna come after a tour now. I'm coming back home to a safe space, and a nice, home, and blah blah blah.
To recharge.
Yeah, to recharge, exactly. But that is something. We met last year, so it's before that I've been kind of just, as every musician, you kind of just do what you have to do and keep working hard to get where you want to go.
And do you think that now that you've got that balance right, you've got the home life and your solid relationship, et cetera, and now you've had this opportunity, obviously, with a solo career, do you think that that's the universe ticking those boxes for you because you're ready now? You might not have been ready a year and a half ago if I called you and said, let's do a solo album, but you seem to be ready now for it.
Definitely. I absolutely feel that's absolutely. I feel like everything is happening when it's supposed to happen. It's something that I've been dreaming and wishing for it for a long time, doing a solo career. And I don't know. I since I was a kid, I looked up to Gwen Stefani, and I always like had her in mind, like even in my old band, because I actually dated the bass player, and I was like, epic fail, don't shit where you eat, people. And I was like, always like, I want to do something similar to her, because I think she's such a badass. And you know what? Times are different now.
Yeah.
And I can have a band and I can do a solo career at the same time, and it can still be magical and wonderful and work out really well.
In fact, if it's done properly, it can actually be the perfect existence. Because you go out with the band and then you recharge with your side project, and then you recharge, it works well. But let me as a segue there, I wanted to ask you, you're talking about Gwen. And one of the best nights in my life was in about 2013 when I met the Rolling Stones with Jagger, my son, in Los Angeles, taken out the back, sat with Charlie, sat with Keith, met Mick. And Mick Taylor was on that tour. Like, I'm talking massive dreams all coming in. But that night,
like getting
it was unbelievable. But on that night, we were in like the sort of VIP section at the front of the stage and standing next to Gwen the whole night.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have to find the photo and send it to you. It was. She's not really.
Did you talk to her?
She's about that tall.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I'm probably taller than her then.
For sure. But let me ask you. So, who are the female rockers that you've looked up to over the years?
I mean, I don't want to lie to you, but I haven't really had that many. And I've always like listened to all kinds of music. So I like hip hop and I like pop, and I'm a mixture of everything, and that's why I think, not to sound do like a douchebag, but I think that's what makes my rock, me being a rock singer and doing what I do unique, because I'm not trying to be anyone that's already been. I'm just doing me, and I'm picking, and I've influence from soul and R&B and all the classic stuff. But I guess in rock music, the big main one is Janis Joplin. Yeah, because I feel like, she was an amazing singer, but I also, one thing that I always think about when I go performing myself, like before a performance, is that I want to really mean what I say and be in that moment and really you know, if it's a sad song, I'm performing a sad song, and I'm like
Yes.
in that and the emotions and blah blah blah. And I think that's something that she did really well. And I could also relate to the naturally raspiness of her voice, um, because it's I have naturally raspy, you know, voice. Even though I've learned how to, you know, take care of it and deal with it, it's something that it's taken a while to like figure out. Like I had to go and fill my vocal cords for like a year to understand that like my default vocal cords are damaged, and that's why I sound the way I do, and blah blah blah. But I think Janis Joplin is for sure one of probably the biggest rock influence for myself as a like on the female front.
Yeah.
And then Gwen Stefani, I know she's not like proper rock, like it's ska, punk or whatever, but to me, she's always been like a style icon. I might not think she's the best singer, but to me, she's always been such a badass, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I found that record, I was like a preteen or whatever, the Tragic Kingdom record, my sister brought it home. I just remember thinking it was so amazing to see a girl like her just doing her thing, being so cool and confident, and also not being so sexy, you know what I mean? Like even though she has like her tops and whatever, but it wasn't so obvious. It wasn't like these metal chicks in corsets and whatever.
Yeah.
It was something that more relatable to me at the time. And now, I mean, she's become a pop artist now, but I still think that her roots are ska and punk, and she's still a very awesome, cool artist. But yeah.
And do you find living in Sweden has been a benefit for your career?
Absolutely.
Being in Europe? Yeah. In what way?
Absolutely. I mean, in Sweden, we have a lot of government funded organizations that help kids, you know, get started in cultural activities when you're a kid. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't come from money, so for like those organizations are really like good, because then they have the instruments, they have the rehearsal spaces that you, for a very like small amount of money or sometimes even no money, you get to like start your band and, you know, try instruments and all these things. So I think that's definitely helps a lot.
Is there a plan to live anywhere else eventually?
I mean, I did live in Los Angeles for a brief 4.5 years. And I think that my heart really, I found my place in the world there, and I'm hoping that one day I'll be back there. But I guess it doesn't really matter where I am, as long as I'm around the people I love. I could be a half a year here, a half a year there. It doesn't matter.
I love LA. I've missed LA so much during COVID and the lockdown, and I've now had both vaccines, so it's just a matter of time before I can get. I mean, you can't even get a flight out of Australia at the moment, which is ridiculous. But
really, I thought you guys had it so much easier over there. Didn't you have like concerts for that 50, or was that New Zealand?
Everything's but everything's been cancelled at the moment. We've been locked down again in Sydney.
Oh wow!
It's just a disaster because they're not rolling the vaccine out quick enough. So
that sucks. I just got my second one too.
Oh, good. So you got vaccine. Look, that's what the world's going to be like. Bruce Springsteen just did a concert recently. I think it was in New York, and if you weren't vaccinated, you couldn't get in.
No.
And that's what it's going to be like. If you're not vaccinated, you won't get into a cafe or a restaurant or a rock concert. So, you know, we get it on our phone. We've got like an app, and you show it, and you're vaccinated. And that'll be your passport to travel and doing everything else. So it's a really interesting world that we're living in and continue to live in at the moment. And it's frustrating for musicians because, you know, what you love to do. Did you find because you just came back from a tour, was that Germany you just did a tour in?
Yeah, we were in France for one date and the rest in Germany.
Was it different to anything before COVID? Could you see how different it was?
I mean, we actually did like 3 tours during COVID. We were probably the only band that toured during COVID. And I would say all these dates have been strange. You know, people are sitting down, there's distance. It's like, I think we had one show now, the last show we did on this tour, where it was 200 people and they were all standing up. And I definitely I think they were standing slightly too close.
Is that a
But it
different
felt like a real
audience?
audience.
Is that hard for you to connect with an audience that's sitting down?
It's so hard. It's like, oh my God. But the thing is, like, a lot of people are just so excited that they exude like cool, good energy from their seats, and they're like jumping on their seats and excited. But then some parts of countries are a little colder and they don't show any emotions. And those audiences are really tough because after the show, they give you all this love. But during the show, and you're just being crazy, you're just sitting there. It's, oh my God, the battery gets drained like this. But I mean, we keep doing it.
And do you think that do you think going forward, it must be hard for you because people sitting down and trying to connect with an audience. I'd find it. I mean, I do public speaking and I do this. I've got no problem. But yeah, if people weren't engaging, I'd find that hard. You're really working for your money then.
Yeah,
really,
for sure.
Really. And do you find with Thunder Mother? Explain Thunder Mother to people that don't know Thunder Mother. Thunder Mother is like a female AC/DC or a female hard rocking band.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's like a female AC/DC, Motorhead, Airborne band. It's classic rock, 3 chords, and knucklehead rock and roll. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's just a lot of fun, good energy, high energy party rock to be, that's what we do. And it's so much fun and exciting, and it's fun to see the music is spreading. There's more females in the audience. There's all ages.
Actually, that's a really good question. That's a good question I want to ask you. Your audience, okay, so say you play to 200 people the other night or 500 people. What's the percentage of male and female?
I think that the percentage is probably like 60, 70 men, the rest female. It's still kind of, but we're, it's changing slowly but surely. But I mean, when I started the band, I feel like everyone was just like older men in vests. That was the whole audience, which we love you guys, but it's nice to see like kids now and teenage girls, just like people really enjoying rock music.
You remember a few years ago, AC/DC did that tour and Brian Johnson couldn't finish it, and Axl Rose jumped up, remember, and sung for them for a few gigs. If you got a call tomorrow to fill in for a band for a couple of weeks, who would it be?
Oh, who would it be? Yeah, I got the question once about AC/DC, and I was kind of like, obviously, I would take it. No, who would I fill in for?
Yeah, who would you love to fill in for? Because you did something with one of the Megadeth guys a while back, didn't you?
Yeah. Jeff Young. When I lived in Los Angeles, we did like a little singer-songwriter project together.
Yeah.
So it wasn't nothing like Megadeth. So I don't think I could go in and sing thrash metal. That would be very hard on my vocal cords.
Yeah.
What band? I mean, we're talking like AC/DC level.
Or
I mean, honestly,
arena bands, any arena
bands. I mean, I've always been a Guns N' Roses fan, so to fill in for Axl would be kind of, that would be crazy. I mean, that's filling in for Axl would be, that's something that I can't even think about, but that's like crazy. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. Okay. What about if someone like Fleetwood Mac called? And you had
yeah, of course.
Could you do that? Could your voice do that? Could you get your head around that?
Yeah. I mean, so Stevie Nicks has also, I mean, they lowered a lot of songs now that they're older.
Yeah. She's amazing.
So yeah, I think I could probably do that easily, but it would be hard if like Heart asked, because that's like really high pitch it. But
yeah.
But I'll try it. I mean, I wouldn't say no. I would still be like, let's modify.
Totally. Put your spin on it.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the rest of the year hold for you?
Well, the rest of the year is, if everything works out as planned, we have a lot of touring ahead of us with Thunder Mother. And then we are also writing music for our 5th album.
Yep.
So that's something that's happening. And I'm going to start writing my own album. So I have a lot of fun things ahead of me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So look, thank you so much for jumping on this. We're gonna do this every 6 months or so, or every 4 months. You and I are gonna do this. Is going to be part one, because I could literally keep you on here for another hour. I won't. But
I love talking, so I could be like, blah, 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 we can have hours.
100%. But we'll call this part one of episode 3. And we'll just do updates in your life and every 4 or 5 months. And, next time we talk, hopefully you are starting to write your solo album, and we can talk about that and how the Thunder Mother album's going, writing that, etc. But it was an absolute pleasure to have you on. And
thank you for having me.
I appreciate your time, because I know you're busy. And thank you for being on Conversations With.